They said he didn't have a chance. A fifth-round pick who should have just been happy to make the team. He was buried in the lineup, sitting behind two rookies and an older player. Most people thought we wouldn't hear his name again until maybe 2026, or never at all. But behind closed doors, something strange is happening in Cleveland, and it's all about Shedeur Sanders. Reports are popping up everywhere. Quiet talks inside the Browns building. People close to the players, even big names like Colin Cowherd and Peter Schrager, are all saying the same thing. Shedeur isn't just trying, he's actually winning. Winning over older players, winning over the coaches, winning the locker room. And it looks like winning over a bold team owner who's famous for always messing with quarterback choices. Now, insiders are saying Browns owner Jimmy Haslam didn't just want Shedeur Sanders on the team. He demanded it. And lately, he's been putting heavy pressure on the coaches, not just to give Shedeur practice time, but to make him the starter. This is no longer just a rookie QB trying to show he belongs. This is what happens when politics, timing, and raw talent all crash together inside a team desperate for something new. And the wildest part? The numbers, the film, and what people inside are saying all point to the same thing. He might really be the real deal. So what's actually going on behind those locker room doors? Did the Browns front office mess up while the owner quietly set his own plan? And is it just a matter of time before Shedeur Sanders becomes the new face of the team? That's exactly what we're talking about today. Not just what's being reported out in the open, but the rumors, whispers, and hidden details that make this one of the craziest. On draft day, the Browns were never really planning to pick Shedeur Sanders. That part is clear. Inside the front office, people say the plan was to take one rookie quarterback, and it wasn't supposed to be Sanders. When Dillon Gabriel's name got called almost 2 full rounds earlier than expected, that should have been the end of the story. Just grab your safe backup, play it cool, and move on. But then, Shedeur Sanders was still sitting there. And that's when everything flipped. Even though he never had a private workout with them, barely any pre-draft meetings with Cleveland, and the team had way bigger needs on the board, the Browns still pulled the trigger in the 5th round. Insiders say it wasn't some smart, planned move. It was even a surprise to people sitting right there in the draft room. And the reason? It might not have been about scouting or fit. Rumors say owner Jimmy Haslam had already been making noise weeks before the draft, pushing hard behind closed doors to make sure Sanders landed on the team. Why? Because to him, Sanders wasn't just some rookie project. He was a headline, a star name, someone who could grab attention for a franchise that's been drowning in quarterback drama for years. Later, GM Andrew Berry would tell the media the team was shocked. Sanders was still available, but behind that nice public answer, rumors immediately started flying. Did they draft Gabriel earlier just to block Haslam from grabbing his guy? Was Sanders really just a backup plan? Or was this part of something bigger? That quiet 5th-round pick quickly turned into the loudest story in the building. And what happened after that threw Cleveland's quarterback room into total chaos. If there's one thing NFL insiders always agree on, it's this. When Browns owner Jimmy Haslam wants something, he doesn't wait around for anyone's permission. And this time, what he wanted was Shedeur Sanders. Colin Cowherd even said it. Haslam didn't just like Sanders. He straight up forced GM Andrew Berry and coach Kevin Stefanski to draft him. That's not just guessing. That's what people in league circles have been whispering ever since the pick happened. People inside the front office say Haslam was so locked in on Shedeur that it caused real tension in the building. Stefanski, he wanted Dillon Gabriel. Simple as that. That was his guy. Safe, quiet, more old school. They even drafted him a round or 2 earlier than needed, maybe hoping that if they grabbed a QB first, the owner would finally chill out. But nope. Haslam didn't back off. He doubled down. And when Shedeur was still available in the 5th round, the owner didn't just suggest it. He reportedly stepped in and made it super clear. This pick was happening, whether the coaches liked it or not. That decision kicked off a quiet civil war inside the team. One side thought Gabriel was the safer option. The other side, led by the man signing all the checks, believed Shedeur was the future. And in Cleveland, it's never been a mystery who wins those fights. The front office hadn't planned for this. The coaches weren't ready for this. But now, they were stuck with 2 rookie quarterbacks who everyone was watching closely. And one of them carried sky-high expectations, straight from the top. The question wasn't just who's going to start anymore. And that fire was coming fast. Inside the Browns, the air was tense. On the outside, the leaders kept things looking neat. Open quarterback competition, fair reps, no favorites. But behind the scenes, the pressure was already building, and it was coming straight from the top. Reports say Jimmy Haslam began having quiet talks, not just with the front office, but directly with Coach Stefanski, pushing the idea of starting Shedeur right away. No waiting, no slow training. Just hand him the job. But here's the issue. The coaches weren't convinced. You had a veteran coach trying to protect his career, a GM who had already drafted another quarterback 2 rounds earlier, and an owner acting like it was already Week 15 with playoffs on the line. Fans didn't know it yet, but Cleveland's locker room had just turned into a war zone. And the players? Shedeur showed up at camp as QB4. No big hype, barely any reps. He was supposed to just learn quietly, blend in, and stay in the background. But things blew up quickly. Coaches were stuck between doing what they thought was best for the team and what the owner wanted. That created weird changes in practice rotations, and players noticed. Veterans started whispering, analysts started poking around, and then the surprise came. Shedeur began beating the odds. Even with few reps, no first-team practice, and a big target on his back, he started grabbing attention. The way he controlled the huddle, his sharp throws in tight spots, his calmness when things got tough. Even top players began admitting it. One week he was buried on the depth chart. The next week, he was a locker room favorite. And suddenly, the coaches had a brand new problem. What if the guy they didn't even want was actually better than the one they chose? Because while the front office was hesitating, Shedeur had already moved on, proving he wasn't just ready, he was impossible to ignore. While the coaches were arguing behind closed doors and the front office tried to slow things down, Shedeur Sanders was busy doing something most 5th-round rookies never do. He was straight up dominating. He came into camp as just an extra arm, a project player, the 4th quarterback in a packed room. At best, people thought he'd sit on the bench and learn. At worst, he'd get cut before the season even started. But none of that shook Shedeur. From the very first whistle at OTAs, people felt something different. Sources said he looked locked in. His body language and he understood the playbook way better than most rookies usually do. Coaches were ready for rookie mistakes. Instead, they saw calmness. Veterans expected just another backup, but what they saw was a silent killer. Every day, his stock went up. Every throw gave him more momentum. By the time the Browns hit full team sessions, people were paying attention. His accuracy in tight spots? Laser sharp. His reading of tricky defenses? Quick. His vibe? Calm. Almost like nothing rattled him. And that's when the whispers began. He looks different. And these weren't from media or fans. These came from inside the building. Denzel Ward, one of the Browns' most trusted defenders, reportedly told people Shedeur didn't just look good, he actually stood out. Off-the-record chatter from teammates kept spreading. Suddenly, nobody was talking about Gabriel anymore. Nobody was even talking about Flacco. Practice after practice, it was becoming Shedeur's show. Fast forward a few weeks, The rookie who everyone thought would end up on the practice squad was now working with the second team and putting real pressure on the guys above him. He never begged for the spotlight. He never demanded extra reps. He earned it. And just like that, the Browns' QB battle wasn't some what-if anymore. It was real. Very real. When reporter Mary Kay Cabot said Shedeur Sanders was stuck as the fourth-string QB, the NFL world laughed. Twitter had fun with it. Headlines called him a development project. Analysts said he was just another big college name who wouldn't make it in the NFL. They didn't just doubt him, they basically buried him. You're only looking good against camp backups. He's just Deion's kid getting hype. At best, he's a practice squad guy. But then, something interesting started happening. He just kept proving people wrong. Again, and again, and again. By the time minicamp rolled around, everything that once looked like a joke started to feel real. His timing with routes, smooth. His awareness in the pocket, calm under pressure. His deep throws, right on target. And the biggest thing, players themselves were talking. Not fans, not clickbait writers, real teammates, veterans, coaches. Even Chad Johnson dropped names of defensive vets who had seen it all. And they were saying the same thing. Shedeur just looked different. At that point, it wasn't hype anymore. It was proof. And suddenly, the story flipped in real time. The critics who said Shedeur had no chance, now they were carefully praising him. Analysts who mocked every perfect throw felt like a clapback. Every practice turned into a headline. The media didn't want this to be a story, but Shedeur kept forcing them to cover it. Even ESPN's Stephen A. Smith jumped in, saying it's not just Shedeur's skills, but his mindset, his confidence, the way he walks like the job already belongs to him, and he's just waiting for everyone else to figure it out. And guess what? People are figuring it out. Now, the fourth stringer everyone wrote off has become the QB nobody can stop watching. And for the first time since draft night, folks are asking, did the Browns just land the steal of the draft without even meaning to? But it's not just his stats that are turning heads. His leadership on and off the field is what really sets him apart. Coaches rave about his work ethic, his ability to stay calm under pressure, and how he keeps the locker room motivated. Teammates often mention how he lifts everyone's game just by being himself. Even Joe Flacco, a veteran quarterback known for his own clutch performances, recently praised him. Flacco called him the kind of player you want leading your team, and highlighted how his attitude and dedication make everyone around him better. It's rare to see someone so young earn that kind of respect from a seasoned NFL pro. His combination of talent, mindset, and leadership is quickly making him more than just a promising player. It's making him a role model for the next generation of quarterbacks.